The following is a special presentation of Extreme eSpeed TV, your new home for everything iRacing and eSpeed.
People want to have a one-stop shop. They need us for now all these different services, not just the heating and air side.
When things are going wrong, you want the company that's going to be able to get things done as fast as possible for you.
Today we're going to be in over 600 homes. What the customers can count on is we're going to send a competent person to your home with a vehicle that's stocked and prepared. We're going to do what's right.
Right now, we're waiving our $79 service fee with any Coolray, Brightbox, or Mr. Plumber service.
Dyer Trucking in Mohawk, Tennessee is family owned and operated, and their main goal is to always please their customers and deliver their freight in a timely manner. If you need it hauled and you're in East Tennessee, the number you need is 423-393-4229. That's 423-393-4229. Dyer Trucking's also on Facebook. Pick up the phone and give Brad and his family a call today. Dyer Trucking. If you need it, they can get it. Find them on Facebook.
Good evening, race fans, and welcome to Eldora Speedway. It is night number 2 here at Eldora for the Coolray Pro Late Model Dirt Series, and we have tonight's Buckeye World 100 as it's night number 2 for the series here at Eldora Speedway. As always, I am Travis Piercefield, joined by Adam Johnson, as we have another exciting night of racing action here. We had 34 laps last night here in the Wayne Piercefield Classic, won by Dylan Perry. Now we're back for 100 more laps around this track, Adam, and we saw it play out last night. Tire wear didn't come into play, but it surely will tonight with 100 circuits around this track.
Yeah, and I think that's something that everyone in the field knows. We're not breaking any news here, but it is something when we talk to the podium drivers from last night, they reiterated that, hey, last night was fun. It kind of took them back to the old series where you get ahead and you can kind of dominate because the tires didn't have a chance to really wear down. But they certainly will tonight, and I think you see strategy even from right now. You know, the tires you're watching these guys practice on right now, and you get a good look there at Dylan Perry's scheme. Those tires, that's the same set for the most part that we're going to be seeing unless some damage happens. They don't have the opportunity to pull off and have pit stops like you would in other series or NASCAR Cup Series or IndyCar F1. So they're going to have to work with what they've got, and it's going to wear down. And we could see with as many laps as we're seeing tonight, we could see a situation which we had a few races ago where you've got the guy who ends up finishing top 5 or winning the race, maybe going a lap down, just taking their sweet time, not pushing too hard until maybe 30 remaining. So it's going to be fun because we know that there's a different strategy each and every race, and so it's kind of like open a new gift. We get to see how it plays out now, and the bow is on it. We're about to rip this gift open, Travis, and I think, a little bit of contact there in practice. Someone kissed the rear right there. Looks like Sam C. right. A bump back there from Lassiter. You got to remember, these cars, you got to work with this tonight, so I think race officials have been put on notice after what just happened right there. A little bit of contact. Lucky to see that here in the open of our broadcast on Extreme eSpeed TV. So, man, I guess the fireworks are already flying.
Fireworks are already flying here at Eldora Speedway. As we mentioned, 100 laps around this track here in Rossburg, Ohio. As we watch Cody Early make some hot laps here around the track. So we're about 12 minutes away from Houston Guttering Time Trial, setting up those carrier heat races tonight. Looks like we've got 16 drivers in the pits here for the Coolray Pro Late Model Dirt Series action tonight. We had, I believe, 15 or 16 last night, so we'll see who can repeat. Aiden Young was a guy that ran really well last night. He came home with a podium finish. Could be someone that comes into play, but again, Adam, last night there was really no strategy to the tire wear. 100 laps, it'll be interesting to see what we see with who conserves, who drops back in the pack, and who maybe jumps out front and tries to lead and separate as quickly as they can.
Yeah, I think you can't take too much stock from what you saw last night because it's gonna be a little interesting because I don't know how much of we're having these guys on the same wavelength for tonight's action because you're gonna see a little bit of differential strategy. I mean, what we saw last time. A little bit of hard entry there to the pits. So these guys, this track looks fast, looks a little messy. We only saw 2 cautions last night. Maybe we'll see more tonight. I would assume so, just with the quantity of laps we're going to have to run. So I'm very curious to see who pushes even hard in Houston Guttering Time Trials, or even in our carrier heat races because. Yesterday, qualifying mattered a lot more than, and I don't want to discount it, but it mattered a lot more than what it will matter tonight. So you don't want to push too hard. Don't peak early. I know a lot of guys in high school that peaked early, and now they're sitting at the back of the pack, and I don't want that to be any of the case for these boys.
So our last group of drivers here out on the track, see John Hine, he ran up towards the front last night. Aiden Young, Andy Piercefield. Andy Piercefield picked up his 4th top 10 of the season last night. He's now moved up into the top 10 in points with that run. See Aiden Young mash the gas down the backstretch. As we mentioned, him looking for another podium finish. Steven Spees out there on the track as well. John Hine was another one of those drivers into the top 5 for a majority of that race last night before things got a little crazy at the end, as he is back in action with the Coolray Pro Late Model Dirt Series as well. With that being said, we're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we're going to have Houston Guttering Time Trials and more racing action here from Eldora Speedway as you're watching the Coolray Pro Late Model Dirt Series on Extreme eSpeed TV.
107 Tire and Service Center is your one-stop shop for all your car care needs, and they're now a Cooper Tire dealer. American tires for the American worker. Buy a set of Cooper tires and get free tire rotation and repairs for the life of the tire. They have a 12,000-mile or 12-month warranty on most repairs. Check out 107 Tire and Service Center. They're located at 6256 Irwin Highway, Chuckey, or call them at 423-620-4970. For all your car care needs, 107 Tire and Service Center. Family owned and operated. And their number one goal is your satisfaction. Find 107 Tire and Service Center on Facebook or call them today at 423-620-4970.
People want to have a one-stop shop. They need us for now all these different services, not just the heating and air side.
When things are going wrong, you want the company that's going to be able to get things done as fast as possible for you.
Today, we're going to be in over 600 homes. What the customers can count on is we're going to send a competent person to your home with a vehicle that's stocked and prepared. We're going to do what's right.
Right now, we're waiving our $79 service fee with any Coolray, Brightbox, or Mr. Plumber service.
Dyer Trucking in Mohawk, Tennessee is family owned and operated, and their main goal is to always please their customers and deliver their freight in a timely manner. If you need it hauled and you're in East Tennessee, the number you need is 423-393-4229. That's 423-393-4229. Dyer Trucking's also on Facebook. Pick up the phone and give Brad and his family a call today. Dyer Trucking. If you need it, they can get it. Find them on Facebook.
It rose from humble beginnings in the Valley of the Sun. A sprint car racer saw the need for racing shirts. And now, the vision of Carl Korbacher has resulted in Arizona Sport Shirts helping racers across America spread their message. For the best custom designed shirts, hoodies, caps, koozies, and much more, go to ArizonaSportShirts.com. Be part of history. Arizona Sport Shirts, the original racing shirt.
People want to have a one-stop shop. They need us for now all these different services, not just the heating and air side.
When things are going wrong, you want the company that's going to be able to get things done as fast as possible for you.
Today, we're going to be in over 600 homes. What the customers can count on is we're going to send a competent person to your home with a vehicle that's stocked and prepared. We're going to do what's right.
Right now, we're waiving our $79 service fee with any Coolray, Brightbox, or Mr. Plumber service.
Back to Eldora Speedway as we have tonight's Buckeye World 100 Houston Guttering Time Trials coming up next. As hot laps are complete, 13 drivers took to the track for hot laps as they are in their drivers meeting now with director Cody Early. As we get ready to go to action here, we're about less than 3 minutes away. And Adam, we saw last night Dylan Perry, really a dominating performance, qualified well, won his heat race, moved on to the feature event, got out front early and stayed out there. Anyone you have circled as possibly a contender up front, especially with that tire wear here with 100 laps?
Yeah, I like the strategy we see from guys like Jacob Blaster. I think he might be in his own head at this point. He's coming close every single week, so I keep an eye on Lassiter. I saw him get a little testy there in practice, so you got to think right now while Cody's talking to the guys and kind of going over the do's and don'ts, he might reiterate like, hey, I saw some things in practice, saw some guys bumping into each other, even entering the pits again, so you got to think that's a talking point. No one wants to be here for longer than they need to be. We just want to have some great racing, like really what we had last night and that we've had a lot of times this season. So to kind of go back to your question, I think Jacob Blaster is always going to be my pick. You can copy and paste that until I see a win. And then Aiden Young, he's been really having a strong showing. He's 5th right now in points with 13:04, and he's got 8 top 5s, 14 top 10s. So that's one I'm looking for. He doesn't have a win yet this season, but quickly climbing up the ranks too. Brandon Combs, he calls himself a part-time driver, but he's back in the lineup tonight. He's already 9th with his 3 wins. He's missed a lot of races, but 8 fewer races than our points leaders right now. But he's still he's making all of them count with his 7 top 10s, 3 wins, and then like I said, even behind him, I want to see continued improvement from Andy Piercefield. A top 10 for him on the season it would just be great. It would give him a lot of confidence going into next year. I know he's always wanting more time in the rig. He's kind of had a busy summer season, so I think it's something he's going to want to lock in and even improve for 2024. But we're talking 2023 tonight, and I do think it's going to be similar to what we saw, Dylan Perry, Tater Williams versus the field. But I think tonight you got more of a chance if you're the field than what we saw last night.
So we're inching closer to Houston Guttering Time Trials here at Eldora Speedway as we get ready to go racing here. Another night of exciting Coolray Pro Late Model Dirt Series action. Some drivers that we hadn't seen as of recently. Here tonight, Sam Seawright is back. John Hines been back the last handful of events as well. Some of the other rookies not here tonight. Austin McGlone comes to mind, as Sam Seawright will be our one and only rookie here for the series tonight. But we are closing up our hot lap session here at Eldora as we look to take on the world's greatest dirt track here with the Coolray Pro Late Model Dirt Series.
Yeah, and I know, coming across the pipeline earlier today, I did want to touch on some of this breaking news. Series is going to end the season with back-to-back nights of racing. That Lima Land one, been kind of bouncing around of when it would play out, but the series was able to finalize, and with the broadcast network and everything, that on October 10th and October 11th, we'll have that doubleheader. So beginning on the 10th, we'll have Lima Land and the 4th annual Carrier Fall Brawl, and then after that, at Lanier for the 2nd annual Blue Gray 100 season finale. You can catch all that action here on Extreme eSpeed TV. And speaking of action on Extreme eSpeed TV, we are just moments away now from Houston Guttering Time Trials. It looks like we got our first driver pulling out there. It looks to be the 182, second in point standings of Tater Williams. Tater Williams coming to us from Clifty, Kentucky. He's his 2021 champion of the series with Coolray Chip Hangers Racing's Comb Cuts, B&B Custom Baits, Bangin' Sets by CBR, Bluegrass Motorsports Media, FHP Consulting, KMJ Graphics with that Longhorn chassis and Mullins race engine, making his 57th career start, 15 wins all time, only trailing Dylan Perry's 16.
Also on the track is that 16 machine of Sam Seawright. He's a rookie this year, been a bit of a part-time driver here in the series this year, so he is back in action here with us tonight.
Yeah, Sam joining us from Fort Payne, Alabama. AJ Core Steel, J&R Excavating, Grow Pediatric Therapy, Houston Project, and First Bank of Alabama. Got that Rocket XR1 and a Durham race engine.
they make their way around the track. Tater Williams is fast as a 15.38, Sam Seawright a 15.44. Little brother Andy's still having some issues with our graphics package here tonight. We'll have to verbally communicate as well as possible that information.
Yeah, I know he overslept this morning, and I think it's just been downhill since then. Spilled some coffee, so he's overcoming a lot today, and we're just proud to see him up here in the booth and running around doing his thing. Speaking of running around doing his thing, if he's not making scheduled changes, he's putting good times on the track. That's the 3E of Cody Early from Greenville, Tennessee, with that Bass Pro Shop. And Johnson City Toyota rocking on the hood tonight in that Warrior race car chassis. Looking good. Another black and red hue. This time he's got Bass Pro Shop on the side, so switching things up ever so slightly. Cody Early putting down our third fastest time so far. Also out there, the 71 of John Hine from St. Louis, Missouri, with Coolray, the Cruise Shop, and Gambler Motorsports, and that Rayburn race car chassis and Hatfield Power engine. John Hine puts down the third fastest, so we still have Tater Williams, Sam Seawright, John Hine, and Cody Early in that order as they all try to improve their speeds. Getting a look here at Cody making his runs as well to close out Houston Guttering time trials for himself. Ooh, John Hine rockets up to second fastest, just behind Tater Williams, as you see on your screen Cody Early pulling off. So that means, as you also see John Hine pulling off, we'll get another set of drivers coming out here in just a moment. And it looks like it'll be our defending champion and current points leader Dylan Perry rolling out onto the track from Ringgold, Georgia. The winner from last night looking to do it again with Extreme eSpeed TV, Rapid Race Graphics, Stealth Racing Carburetors, Harrison Automotive, Newt's Lawn Care, MSW Construction, Chip Bangers Racing, Goat Farm Posse, Extreme eSpeed TV. Combs Cuts, rocking Evans Air Conditioning as well with that Longhorn chassis and Phantom race engine. Looking quick out there. I'm loving that color scheme. He's kind of switched it up more than, last year. Oh, already rockets up to the second fastest time. Also out there, you'll see the one of Colin Boyles from Decatur, Illinois, with that Building Systems of Illinois, Logitech, Rich DPC, Trimby and Sun Concrete, GT Omega Racing Simulators with that Kryptonite chassis, and Mullins race engine on the inside. Hugging a little bit more of the middle lane. Perry was working that high side, so slightly different strategies. Drivers all trying to get a feel. It's a good time to get that feel early on in the night before those tires start to switch up on you. And Colin leapfrogs Cody Early for the fifth fastest time, and Dylan Perry leapfrogs Tater Williams, so it's Perry Williams 1-2. Rolling out right now is my pick for the night, the 51 of Jacob Lassiter, joining us from Dresden, Tennessee, with Hot Laps Heroes Racing, 789 Design, Max Green in the Suds shop, that Rayburn race car chassis and custom race engine. Also out there, the 117 of Joshua Johnson. Joshua joining us from Waynesville, Georgia, with Vortex Wraps, Branson Woodward Racing, HJR Cinematography, Speed Ranch E-Setups, and that Barry Race Car Chassis Ingram Racing Engine. Lassiter puts up the 6th fastest time, so not the quickest we've seen from him, but not too worried on a night like tonight when things are going to change a lot. And I think even carrier heat races, you'll see just some differing times, differing intensity of who's trying to really push it or who's really trying to conserve for later in the night, as you see Johnson begin to pull off. Also out there, you got the 12 of Jordan Van Westen from Del Rapids, South Dakota. He's got Pizza Ranch, Norby's Bar and Grill, TNC Self-Service, Rapid Fitness, Cryer and Blaine with that MB Custom Chassis and Sputz Race Engine. As well as Caleb Ramsey, the rookie out there, number 13. From Lafayette, Tennessee with Mud Duck Racing, Spartan Transportation, Sweet Victory Apparel. The showroom at Westwoods, that Warrior race car and Stephen Fields Racing Engine. So far, fastest drivers, Perry, Williams, Hine are your top 3, with Seawright and Voiles rounding out the top 5.
As you can see, the best times over there on your left. Little brother Andy doing work, getting our graphics package back up. At least for now. If it goes away, we'll blame him at that point as well. So the 69 of Aiden Young out here, as we mentioned, he came away with a podium finish last night. Aiden Young in his second year in the Coolray Pro Late Model Dirt Series from Dalton, New Hampshire. Coolray Cooling and Heating, Young Gun Creation, Simtrax Broadcasting, Gambler Motorsports. He makes his way around the track.
And the man who's 10th in points right now, Andrew Piercefield out there from Cumming, Georgia. He's got the Village Restaurant, a little still ode to Michigan after the Wayne Piercefield Classic yesterday. I'm liking those colors. Probably it's a trip down memory lane for he and a lot of the Piercefield family members. As he puts down the 12th fastest time. Still more to go.
He'll improve to 11th in front of Caleb Ramsey as Aiden Young's not too far ahead, currently 9th fastest. A 15.59. Track appears to be slightly quicker than it was last night, Adam. As Andy Pierce will move up to 10th fastest, a 15.65.
Like to see that improvement from Andy. I know he even though it may not matter for a race like this as much, I know he puts a lot of stock and a lot of emotion into his qualifying laps. So able to leapfrog some competitors who'll always take that as we await really our final, looks to be maybe 4 drivers before we really lock this down and get to some side-by-side racing action.
You can see the tightness of the group here. 12 drivers all within 4/10 of each other. As you know, Adam, it can be all about the inches at a tight racing track like this, and that can be the difference between 1st or 12th.
It's so true, and I'm even looking at these haulers. I know this is one of the more difficult ones for some of these guys. It kind of reminds me of Bristol having to pull in, and you've got to be straight as an arrow, and it's not as easy for some guys, some of the drivers. A lot of these drivers even drive their own haulers at some points. Oh, you get a good look here at Steven Spees flying around there in that 55 machine from Lee Summit, Missouri, with Midwest Turbo and Performance with an iRacing chassis and Intel Race engine.
Also on the tracks, that 28 machine, that's Brandon Combs. He's been fast as of late. He's part-time this year, but he's probably having the best season he's had in the Coolray Pro Late Model Dirt Series, at least of the last few years, from Cincinnati, Ohio. That's a Longhorn chassis. He's got the throwback there going tonight. As we have Brandon Combs 6th fastest, currently a 15.47. As Steven Spees will end up 8th fastest, a 15.51. And then there were 2, Adam.
Yep, and it'll begin with D.C. Smith from Washington, West Virginia, B&B Custom Baits, Combs Cuts, FHP Consulting, Chip Bangers Racing, Bluegrass Motorsports Media, and Goat Farm Posse with that Sniper chassis and Clements Racing engine.
And last but not least, that 22 machine of Brandon Bender. Coming from Midford, Ohio, B&B Custom Baits, Limitless Custom Creations, Chip Banger Racing, Coolray on that Longhorn chassis. As he makes his way around, as does DC Smith. DC Smith's first lap, 15 fastest, 15.83.
Able to see all these drivers staying in that 15-second kind of parameter. No one got cracked 14, and no one felt the 16 seconds or slower. So it's going to be a little competitive. Ooh, DC Smith popping up a couple of spots in front of Van Weston and Ramsey.
Coming around for his final lap, see if he can improve any more. Currently a 15.71, 14th fastest. He'll improve slightly, but stay 14th. As now Brandon Bender completes his lap. He'll move up to 10th fastest, 15.54. And with that, 16 cars up, 16 cars down. Dylan Perry's going to be your quick time here at Eldora, picking up right where he left off from last night. And as our qualifying session comes to an end, we're going to get ready for that first carrier heat race. Here from Eldora, getting our racing action started for the night.
That's right, and it all begins with carrier heat race number 1, which will be led by the fastest man so far, Dylan Perry, and he'll be side by side with the rookie Sam Seawright. Behind them in row 2, Jacob Lassiter and Brandon Bender, with Andy Piercefield and Caleb Ramsey in row 3. Got the pace truck ready to lead these gentlemen out. And what should be a busy night of racing. Never know if you're going to get the pace car or the pace truck.
So Dylan Perry, Sam Seawright will lead us to green here in carrier heat race number 1. Looks like we could have 3 carrier heat races again tonight. As I misspoke earlier, 2 rookies here, both of them in this first carrier heat race. That's Sam Seawright and Caleb Ramsey. Green flag waves here at Eldora. Carrier heat race number 1's underway. So side by side going through 3 and 4, you have Lassiter to the inside of Sam Seawright. Sam Seawright looking to the inside of Dylan Perry, still side by side as Dylan Perry's finally able to clear him. 6 laps to go as we've got 2 laps down. There comes Jacob Lassiter now to the inside of Brandon Bender.
Yeah, good racing action to start things out. Still a good amount of this to go, so Perry, though, hard to catch up to him. We saw it last night. It's going to be the same tonight. It doesn't matter how many laps are on the board, but it's a good racing action. Ooh, a little bit of contact there. Oh, maybe just avoided it, but man, it's a little slicker, a little quicker, like you said earlier in the broadcast, Travis. So I'm excited to see how this changes over time. It's not going to get more, the traction's not always going to be there.
So Lassiter trying to hold off Caleb Ramsey. That's a battle for third as Sam Seawright out ahead, still trying to track down Dylan Perry. as Lassiter clears Ramsey. Now Brandon Bender will try to look to the outside of Ramsey through 3 and 4. Oh, Caleb Ramsey goes around on the front stretch. Green flag will stay out as of now. Dylan Perry in the lead still. 3 laps to go as Caleb Ramsey's going to fall back to 6th with that contact.
Yeah, I think if you see more of a full field in the main event, I think that caution comes out. But no harm, no foul. He was able to get things straightened back out, and he'll try and rebound later tonight.
And now the caution flag will come out. It looks like it is for Caleb Ramsey. So 2 laps to go. We'll rack them and stack them and get ready to go back to racing action. So Dylan Perry continues to lead. Sam Seawright in second. Lassiter, Piercefield, Bender, Ramsey. Your 6 cars here in Carrier Heat Race numero uno. There goes that pace truck off of turn number 4. Green flag waves. Dylan Perry has us back to racing action. As he's able to separate from Sam Seawright as the control car. Only 2 laps to go, Adam.
2 laps to go, and what's been a pretty entertaining first Carrier Heat race. Kind of gets me excited for the rest of them. But I'll tell you what, Dylan Perry putting on a master class right now. Final lap waves the Carrier Heat race number 1. Will the rookie be able to at least stay out in front of Lassiter? I think he might be able to. He's going to take a couple more turns, though.
So Perry comes out of turn number 4. Checkered flag waves. Dylan Perry will pick up Carrier Heat race number 1. Seawright, Lassiter, Piercefield, Bender, and Ramsey round out your field as we'll move on to Carrier Heat race number 2.
And Carrier Heat race number 2 will be led by the 2021 Series champion and second in points this year, Tater Williams, side by side with Colin Voiles. Behind them, Steven Spees and Joshua Johnson, with DC Smith rounding out the rear.
So they'll roll off of the pit road here at Eldora. So our second of 3 Carrier Heat races here tonight. That 117 is a sharp looker tonight here. Joshua Johnson has out on the track. Nice throwback there. Try to get some footage of that car here as they make their way around the track. Very clean. Green flag waves. It's Tater Williams. Colin Voiles leading us off into turn number 1. Tater Williams down to the inside. He's got Steven Spees behind him as it's Colin Voiles, Joshua Johnson on the outside.
Yeah, Voiles looking quick on the outside, but Tater Williams, I got to tell you, if he can find that high side and get clear, it looks like he is clear. He's going to ride that top line, and I know he likes it a lot, but I'll tell you, ooh, a little bit of contact. Voiles did not time that move very well.
So Tater Williams running middle of the track there in front of Joshua Johnson. You see Voiles, ooh, contact with Spees as he cut across the track. He's down to the inside there as he's been able to make his move up against that Johnson machine as Johnson now pulls out into that second spot.
And he's making it pretty hard for Voiles right now. He's kind of been all over the track, but yeah, oh, Johnson just with it, probably the tip of the car maybe hit the wall.
So watching it, it's Williams, Johnson, Voiles, Spees, DC Smith as they run here. Halfway cross sticks this time by. 4 laps to go as Johnson is trying to chase down Williams up ahead.
Smith and Speed swap spots in the back. And Johnson still holding that lead over Voiles. Johnson, he's coming close to Williams, but just a little short. But you don't want to show all your signs too early. Don't want to be a little premature with this.
He's lost a little ground here as Tater Williams been able to separate now by 0.6 of a second here with 2 laps to go. Tater, caution flag waves. It's for Steven Spies. See him slow to get going. As we'll go 2 by 2, Tater and Johnson will be side by side, bringing us back to green here in a moment. Good run for Joshua Johnson.
I'm liking that scheme there on the front of Tater Williams. These guys brought some good ones out this week. So cautions in the first 2 carrier heat races. I don't know when the last time we saw multiple cautions in our heat races has been, but if this is kind of an indicator of what's to come tonight, these boys better hit the bathrooms before the main event. They're going to be in their car for a while.
Well, this guy here, Tater Williams, has had quite the summer as he has battled Dylan Perry all summer long. It's going to go down to the wire, it looks like, and how fitting is it that we'll have another night here at Eldora? And it wouldn't surprise me at all, Adam, if those two were battling at the end for a victory.
Yeah, now here's a driver that I think you're going to want to keep your eye on, and that's Johnson. He's kind of made big improvements. I'll tell you what, the pace truck rolling off, and look at him kind of get in there quickly right behind Tater Williams. And Voiles, though, he's right there on the bumper.
So Tater Williams able to separate, 2 laps to go as he's able to pull out in front of Johnson. Johnson's trying to hold on. He slams it against the wall as now they'll head down the backstretch. Final lap here. Tater Williams out front as now Colin Voiles will make a move on Johnson. He'll cross him over. Johnson will pull it down to the inside. It's going to be Johnson by a tip at the finish line. Second place for Joshua Johnson. Tater Williams your winner. Colin Voiles third. Steven Spies in fourth as we go on to carrier heat race number 3.
And carrier heat race number 3 will be led by John Hine, side by side with the part-time, almost full-time Brandon Combs. Behind them, race director Cody Early and our second place finisher from last night, Aiden Young, with Jordan Van Westen rounding out the rear.
So they head out on the track, John Hine alongside Brandon Combs. Solid front row there. 2 drivers that are consistently up towards the front. As the lights are off, we're getting ready to go back to green here in carrier heat race number 3. As the green flag waves, John Hine and Brandon Combs take us back to green. 8 more laps here in carrier heat race number 3 to set the field for tonight's 100-lap feature event. Brandon Combs battling hard with John Hine out front as they trade the lead back and forth. Another great race to the line there that time. And look who it is. It's the director, that 3-car numero trace, Cody Early.
Yeah, muy bien, Cody, coming in just trying to get there. And I'll tell you what, John Hine and Brandon Combs, they're putting on probably one of the best shows. If that was the final lap, that would have literally been a photo finish. Oh, a little bit of contact. Cody, good job avoiding it. Might have slowed the roll of John Hine, though, but I don't know. He just retakes the lead, but can he hold the grip? Don't think he has it, and we might see Brandon Combs overtake it once again. And, man, this is going to be a photo finish if it trends like this.
So Brandon Combs and John Hine continue to battle side by side. In their mirror, all they see is that Johnson on the front of Cody Early's number 3 machine, as Brandon Combs will lead this time by. We're down to 2 laps to go.
Yeah, it's kind of staring you in the face, and I'll tell you what, John Hine staring down a carrier heat win if he can hold on, and it's going to be tough, though.
Is that your sponsorship on the front of Cody Early's car?
Hey, Johnson family. We're more Johnson family Kia. We're kind of a Kia family, a little foreign, so sorry to the listeners.
As we see the battle to the finish line. Final lap, final corner. Combs will slide up in front of John Hine. Hine will battle back on the inside. It's going to be John Hine at the line. Essentially, less than it's 0.00, so less than 100th of a second. John Hine will beat Brandon Combs to the line. Cody Early third, Aiden Young fourth, Jordan Van Westen in fifth. And with that, we will move on to our warm-up session. We'll take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we will have Cars on the Track pre-race festivities and tonight's Buckeye World 100 from Eldora.
People want to have a one-stop shop. They need us for now all these different services, not just the heating and air side.
When things are going wrong, you want the company that's going to be able to get things done as fast as possible for you.
Today, we're going to be in over 600 homes. What the customers can count on is we're going to send a competent person to your home with a vehicle that's stocked and prepared. We're going to do what's right.
Right now, we're waiving our $79 service fee with any Coolray, Brightbox, or Mr. Plumber service.
Dyer Trucking in Mohawk, Tennessee is family owned and operated, and their main goal is to always please their customers and deliver their freight in a timely manner. If you need it hauled and you're in East Tennessee, the number you need is 423-393-4229. That's 423-393-4229. Dyer Trucking's also on Facebook. Pick up the phone and give Brad and his family a call today. Dyer Trucking. If you need it, they can get it. Find them on Facebook. 107 Tire and Service Center is your one-stop shop for all your car care needs, and they're now a Cooper Tire dealer. American tires for the American worker. Buy a set of Cooper tires and get free tire rotation and repairs for the life of the tire. They have a 12,000-mile or 12-month warranty on most repairs. Check out 107 Tire and Service Center. They're located at 6256 Irwin Highway, Chuckey, or call them at 423-620-4970. For all your car care needs, 107 Tire and Service Center. Family owned and operated. And their number one goal is your satisfaction. Find 107 Tire and Service Center on Facebook or call them today at 423-620-4970.
Welcome back to Eldora Speedway as we get ready for tonight's Buckeye World 100. Please stand, remove your hats for tonight's national anthem. And now we'll take one more quick commercial break. When we come back, we have your preview of tonight's 100-lap Buckeye World 100 here from Eldora Speedway, as it is the Coolray Pro Late Model Dirt Series here on Extreme eSpeed TV.
People want to have a one-stop shop. They need us for now all these different services, not just the heating and air side.
When things are going wrong, you want the company that's going to be able to get things done as fast as possible for you.
Today, we're going to be in over 600 homes. What the customers can count on is we're going to send a competent person to your home with a vehicle that's stocked and prepared. We're going to do what's right.
Right now, we're waiving our $79 service fee with any Coolray, Brightbox, or Mr. Plumber service.
Dyer Trucking in Mohawk, Tennessee is family owned and operated, and their main goal is to always please their customers and deliver their freight in a timely manner. If you need it hauled and you're in East Tennessee, the number you need is 423-393-4229. That's 423-393-4229. Dyer Trucking's also on Facebook. Pick up the phone and give Brad and his family a call today. Dyer Trucking. If you need it, they can get it. Find them on Facebook.
Welcome back to Eldora Speedway as we are getting ready for tonight's Buckeye World 100, Adam. And we saw it already in the carrier heat races. Dylan Perry, Tater Williams, two drivers, fast last night, fast all season long, and appear fast again here tonight. But again, that tire wear should come into play, and it'll be interesting to see how that strategy plays out.
Yeah, I think if you're the field, the smartest thing you can do is really kind of hang around them, see where they're hanging out. If they're hanging out, 10th to 15th right now, you might want to say, okay, maybe I don't need to push as hard, but there's other ways to look at it because they don't necessarily have the guaranteed perfect formula. Every track is different. Every night it's different, just based on weather and a bunch of other factors. So I think there's also going to be a piece of that where it's like, okay, I should probably stay a few car lengths ahead of these drivers, knowing that they're eventually going to turn it on. So even as I kind of talk it out, it's really going to depend on so many things. I think cautions play a big part. We saw that in a recent race where we had a ton of cautions at the end, and that's added laps around a track on your tires. So I think follow kind of the leaders, even if the leaders are behind you, if that makes sense.
Well, with that, we're going to move on to our feature presentation, the Buckeye World 100.
That's right, the moment we've all been waiting for. We'll begin with our top two drivers in the points, Dylan Perry and Tater Williams, 1 and 2, with John Hine and Sam Seawright behind them. Row 3 of Joshua Johnson and Brandon Combs. Row 4, Jacob Lester and Colin Voiles. Row 5, Cody Early and Andy Piercefield. Row 6, Steven Spees and Aiden Young. Row 7, Brandon Bender and DC Smith with Jordan Van Westen and Caleb Ramsey in the final row.
So 100 laps around this Eldora Speedway, the world's greatest dirt track, as Dylan Perry, Tater Williams. With being 100 laps, the tire wear coming into play, Adam, I've got to think, looking at Jordan Van Westen in the back, Aiden Young, Steven Spees, those are drivers that have not held back with the tire wear. It may not have paid out in a good finish or a win yet, but it does make it interesting for how the race plays out and how it shakes up the field. We saw Jordan Van Westen one race put the entire field basically a lap down. Didn't play out, but it did make it interesting the second half of that race.
Yeah, that was one of the many highlights from this season. We've seen so many different strategies, and I've loved kind of the changes that we've seen. There's not many changes that have been made that I've not enjoyed with this series, and that just goes to a credit to how hard these officials and the race director Cody Early works it. We get a beautiful 4-wide salute to the fans. A lot of them were here both yesterday for the Wayne Piercefield Classic and tonight, so I just love seeing that, man. These fans deserve some recognition because they are so loyal, and we're extremely grateful for you on Extreme eSpeed TV tuning in and being loyal to this series as well.
They're going to get ready to line up and get back to racing action here at Eldora, as it's going to be our top 2-point standings drivers. Dylan Perry, Tater Williams, as the lights are off, that pace truck here for the Coolray Pro Late Model Dirt Series.
Just a matter of moments now, as it looks like we'll get the pace truck pulling off. And ladies and gentlemen, we are going green from Eldora. Tater Williams, Dylan Perry, side by side, and they fan out as we begin lap number 1 of 100.
Dylan Perry will jump out front. Sam Seawright quick to jump up into that second spot. John Hine in third as Tater Williams quickly drops back to the fourth spot. Sam Seawright down to the inside. I don't know if Sam has raced much with us since that new tire compound, so he is quick to jump out front as he had one of the faster times. He and Dylan Perry, as you see, Perry now falls in line, lets Sam Seawright take over that lead. As we work lap number 3, and you can see really from John Hine back, they've slowed down the pace. They're all plus 17 seconds. And it looks like we're going to have that case, Adam, of some guys saving here and some guys trying to move up to the front and move forward with no regard for that tire wear.
Yeah, you're already seeing Tater Williams drop back right now, down 5 spots. I think that's for a reason. But, yeah, you see the rookie Sam Seawright, he's up 3 spots. I don't think he's, quite aware of what's going on. You got Andy Piercefield up 6 spots, so don't push too hard. I know it's really hard as a driver to allow someone to pass you, right? And I think it takes some kind of restraint to not go all out when you've got wide open ground in front of you. But we've seen far too many examples so far this season of guys, and maybe some guys want to just collect some points and they want to lead for a little while. I totally get that. But you just got to be careful, because if you're pushing hard right now, you'll be feeling this in about 40 laps.
Well, if I'm Andy Piercefield here, Adam, I'm going to fall in line with Dylan Perry. Obviously, Dylan Perry, a points leader, knows what he's doing here. These two practice quite a bit away from the series. So why not just get in line, follow that points leader, follow that all-time wins leader in this series, save the tires like he is, and then let it shake out at the end as it may, because you know he's going to be there at the end, and hopefully he can bring you along with him.
Oh, absolutely, and that's why it's kind of interesting, because we're seeing very different strategies in these first 10 laps. You've got Dylan Perry running hard at second, but you also have Tater Williams down in 10th. You can't tell me right now that Tater Williams isn't, conserving a little bit. So different strategies to each their own. I'm a little, I hope they both end up on the podium, because I'd love to hear how these different strategies kind of work out for both of them. And Piercefield, yeah, like you said, Piercefield and Johnson kind of flip-flopping right now.
You see Combs there behind Tater Williams. These were two drivers that early in this new tire would drop all the way to the back and then make their way up through the field. As the field got more veteran with these tires, you've seen everyone take it a little more easy and let off a little bit, which has made it harder. If you drop all the way to the rear, that tire wear isn't greater as much as it was early in these races. As you see now, Tater Williams' brain comes back to 12th and 13th. So it does come under the fact of, if everyone's going at the end with equal tires, what do you have to do to get up through the field, and can you get up there in time?
Yeah, and that's exactly why, just my personality as a driver, I'm not the kind of guy who's going to want to sit all the way in last on purpose. So I'm the kind of guy who I want to sit maybe 8th right now. I like where Van Westen is. I like where Hine is. Hine's got a pretty quick car tonight. I want to hang mid-pack and kind of get a feel for, and you can kind of tell when you get to the final 40 laps, you can tell if you're really closing in, if you're really getting closer, or if you feel like you don't have it. So stay mid-pack right now. I wouldn't want to be first, and I wouldn't want to be last.
So rookie Sam Seawright still out front. You can see that gap. Really, you've got the front 5 up there, as that's 4 wide from second on back there. And then you have that gap back from Joshua Johnson in 5th to Steven Spees slightly there, as Spees and his teammate John Hine run 6th and 7th. Your hard charger here early in this one, 15 laps in, is that 75 machine of Andy Piercefield. As he started 10th, he's now up into the 3rd position.
Yeah, good. I always love seeing Piercefield in the top 5, top 3. He's kind of going back and forth. He and Lassiter are hanging around a lot right now, but like you said, it really is Lassiter and Piercefield kind of hanging in the shadows of Dylan Perry. Not a bad idea. And then Williams has dropped all the way down to 12th. And, we're approaching, 20% of this race complete. Doesn't look like the cars are really starting to wear too much yet, but, ask me in about 15 laps and we'll see where we're at.
So they are making 17-second laps. As you see, Sam Seawright slowing it down, just staying in front of Dylan Perry and Jacob Lassiter. The 16th place car, Brandon Bender, he is currently 10 seconds behind the leader, so still has about a 7-second gap on him. He's about half of a track ahead of the leaders, so nobody in jeopardy of going a lap down here. But that group of 5 up front has tightened up now as they all run in pace, coming to the lap number 20.
Yeah, coming to lap number 20, and no cautions yet. Also, no real lap traffic coming into play, so they're all running at almost very similar speeds, similar to what we saw in Houston Guttering time trials, where no one was extremely faster. They're all kind of in that 15-second range and mark. So I'm very, very interested to see these lap times advance in the next handful of really chunks of laps we're going to witness, as we're now past that 20-lap mark.
So you can see Joshua Johnson jumps out to the lead. He came out of nowhere, moved on up, and now he'll take his turn up front, as now he'll slow his pace down. And this is the weird strategies we've come to learn here, Adam, is guys will make their move for a moment, and then they try to fall back in line, not to use too much, but to help set themselves up. As we work in lap number 24, coming to a lap number 25, that is 1/4 of the way through this Buckeye World 100.
Jonathan Seawright, Lassiter, Perry, Piercefield, your top 5 right now, and John Hine advancing a little earlier than I would expect.
This group up front, Adam, has tightened up. It really goes now back to about the top 8. You see Steven Spees there, then a slight gap back to Cody Early. And then back in the pack, you still have Brandon Combs and Tater Williams. And the thing is, Adam, they're running about the same laps as the leader. So this is where it comes into play. You drop to the back, you're trying to save, but even the people up ahead of you are running the same times as you. So what really are you gaining on those drivers up ahead?
Yeah, and I wonder if and when guys like Combs and Williams and even Young kind of figure that out. You hate to leave too much on the table early, but I'd like to know, and we don't have one in the booth right now, but I'd love to have a driver explain, like, how hard are you pressing right now? Are you going, harder than you'd like right now? Are you conserving more than you maybe would like? Because we're seeing a lot of movement. You're watching the board live on the left side of your screen. Sam Seawright just got past, then he took it back, and a lot of flip-flopping going on right now.
Speaking of Early, Cody Early up into the 8th spot as he moves past Spees. He's a driver in the past we've also seen press a little bit harder to make up some ground. We've seen him lead some laps here this summer as well. And now he's up there as the Van Westen machine of 12. He got stuck in the middle there. That got squirrely for a moment. And now it's 2 lanes there for the top 10. It's 5 to the outside, another 4 to the inside there. As you see, Sam Seawright leading, Dylan Perry in line there, Andy Piercefield 3rd in line on the outside. As it's Joshua Johnson out front still, as he'll pull out ahead. Jacob Lassiter following him through that inside line.
And I'm still trying to figure out what exactly is the preferred line. I see some drivers taking the outside. I know some drivers, just their tendency, some like to ride low and then swing up high. Oh, a little bit of contact. Hopefully Lassiter can... Oh, brutal hit there, John Hine. Everyone seems to be okay. No caution.
So they'll keep it going. That just speaks to the quality of driver we have here in the Coolray Dirt Series. And they get their hands working in there, moving back and forth, saving that car. That tight grip on that steering wheel comes in handy there for Lassiter.
Yeah, and you can see he was trying to squeeze through, and it didn't work. He got turned sideways, curved a little to the right.
As 3 wide there, as Andy Piercefield will shoot the gap. He's now looking to the inside of Sam Seawright. He'll take the lead. He will lead lap number 36 here at Eldora.
very historic moment right now. Love to see this. The 75 of Andy Piercefield in a Michigan throwback, using lessons he learned from his father, is leading right now in the Pro Late Model Dirt Series here on Extreme eSpeed TV.
And you can see he has picked up the pace, running a 16.5 second lap there, much faster than the cars right behind him here. Lap 37 at Eldora as he leads. As we work lap 38, Sam Seawright in second, Dylan Perry third, Jacob Lassiter, and you can see those front two starting to pull away from the rest of the field.
Yeah, Piercefield pulling away from Perry himself, and he's a lock.
So looking through the field, Adam, you see this battle here between Joshua Johnson, Lassiter, and Dylan Perry. Brandon Combs and Tater Williams still running 12th and 13th here.
%40 through this race. Piercefield, Seawright, and Perry, your top three. Even Van Westen bumping up to 6th right now, flip-flopping with Cody early.
And you can see we are now 13 of the 16 drivers last lap. We're sub 17 seconds, so it's starting to pick up here. As the drivers are starting to go, Andy Piercefield stretching out his lead over a second now, and this is the point in the race where you wonder how long it will last. What's he going to have left on those tires here at the end of this? But no worries about that right now, as he's got that second lead over Sam Seawright. Dylan Perry in currently 4th as he battles Joshua Johnson. Cody Early also now moving up through the field as he's up into the top 5. Good run for Cody Early here in this one, up 4 spots from his 9th starting spot.
Yeah, and I think the spotter for Piercefield just tell him, hey, leave it all out there on the track, burn it down, and we'll see where it gets us. But yeah, look at that speed on the outside from Cody Early. I love to see that. Almost three-way, got a little wiggly, a little squirmy, it looks like, but no damage. Still have yet to see our first caution in this race, and I do believe it will be coming. Oh, a little bit of sideways there for Van Westen, holding a strong fit top 5 right now, just behind Johnson.
Another good grip on that steering wheel, holding it straight as he is still working the outside of Johnson. Really working it there as we work lap number 45.
Yeah, and it's working for him right now. And I'm continuing to see, the strategy you talked about with Perry, where are the big dogs hanging out? And you've got Perry 3rd, you've got Tater Williams down in 11th, and I'm curious what this does. When do they start pushing? Because we're 3 laps away from the halfway mark in this race, and once we get to the second half, it's going to be a lot more stressful, I think, on a driver than the first part, as we get a look at Andy Piercefield widening the gap right now here on Extreme eSpeed TV. Good-looking car right there. Continuing to watch the laps tick away.
Van Westen now, he continues his charge forward. He's up into 3rd now, looking to the inside of Sam Seawright. He's a driver now that's moved forward. He was actually the fastest lap on the track last lap. He and Jacob Lassiter, actually. Jacob Lassiter not far behind him there in that 6th spot.
Now halfway through this race, Piercefield still your top dog. Interested to see where Brandon Combs ends up. You've kind of got Perry riding up front, and really towards the back you've got Williams and Combs, 2 of the other really impactful drivers we've seen so far this season. So I'm interested when they start to crack the top 10. They're not quite there yet, whether that's by purpose or not. I would think it's by purpose. It's still a little too early to tell, quite honestly.
Well, we're going to jump back there with Tater Williams. We're going to ride along with him actually for a moment here as he's working the inside of Caleb Ramsey. He's now up into the 11th spot. Brandon Combs not far behind him. And you've got to wonder, now that they've crossed that halfway mark, Adam, it looks like they're ready to go forward. But again, they're running similar laps as the people up ahead of them. So are they going to be able to make up that ground if this thing stays green?
Yeah, I don't know, and thankfully it is, and I can kind of tell there's some portions of the track where they're getting a little more, squirmish, I guess you could say. They're not as straight and narrow on all of these turns, but it's working on the outside for Tater Williams. He's in his preferred spot right now.
So Dylan Perry now, he'll move into the inside of Andy Piercefield for the lead. Great battle here as we work lap number 56. Sam C right now going as well. So, oh, Andy Piercefield contacted the outside wall. Around he will go. Caution comes out. And that will be our first caution here on lap number 56. So still plenty of laps to go.
Looks like that might have been Joshua Johnson contact. Oh, Andy Piercefield trying to get straightened out. We'll see where he gets placed when we restack the deck.
So Dylan Perry, your leader.
Yeah, and I don't really know what we see from Dylan Perry on the restart. Does he really want to be the leader right now, knowing there's some guys who might be conserving? I'm very perplexed. I'm really excited for our post-race interviews, no matter who's on the podium, because strategy's playing a little differently than I kind of expected.
So it looks like John Hind into the pits, getting work done on his machine. Andy Piercefield in the pits as well. See the damage to that 75 machine. That just don't look right.
Yeah, vibrating a lot down there. Looks like they're just trying to get the engine working. I know crew's working hard. Little brother Andy had to run down from the booth to kind of assist. And I know he's got that sling, so it's been tough on him.
Well, it's hard to change those tires with only 8 fingers, so work being done. It looks like Andy Piercefield's back out on the track as well now. John Hine has rejoined along.
Yeah, it kind of is you get weeks like this and kind of a bare bones crew, a lot of family members helping out on the pit crew, and I know a lot of wives out there, a lot of girlfriends, and sometimes both. Yeah.
Lights still on the pace car as we wait to get back to green here.
Still waiting to see what happened to the 75 of Andy Piercefield. He'll have to get back out there soon if he wants to stay on the lead lap, so my how things can change quickly in this series.
So Andy will rejoin the back of the field just as the lights go off that pace car. So we'll reorder them here. Dylan Perry, Sam Seagrave, your front row. Jordan Van Westen and Cody Early in row number 2 there. Williams is up to 7th. Combs up to 10th. As the lights go off, the truck leaves, and we're back to green. Dylan Perry, Sam Seawright take us back to green here as we work lap number 57 of this Buckeye World 100 from Eldora.
Yeah, if we had the live betting odds right now, I'm curious, do we see a different leader at any point in this race, or is Dylan Perry going to try and take it from green flag to checkered. He just might, knowing him, but man, Sam Seawright pushing a lot harder than I feel like a lot of other guys are, so they may be on whatever strategy they're on. It's a similar one, and they both want it right now.
Well, and you can see Dylan Perry trying to hold off Sam Seawright. As Jordan Van Westen up 12 spots. He's our hard charger as of right now, up into that 3rd spot. Cody Early up 5 into the 4th position, just in front of Joshua Johnson there. Caleb Ramsey up 6 into the 9th position. And then, speaking of that last incident, Andy Piercefield, he's already up 3 spots up into 13th after restarting at the rear. So you can see some angry drive in there trying to get back up towards the front.
Yeah, that man has no regard for his tires right now. He will be pushed off the track, just shredded. But, I'll tell you what, if we can get a top 10 out of him, and he's only 3 back from getting into the top 10, I think he's going to push as hard as he can right now. Looks like Andy's last lap is 16.76, although Dylan Perry's last lap is 16.35, so he is moving a little more quickly. I'm looking at guys like Tater Williams, who we're looking at right now, 16.49 his last lap, so I still don't feel like he's pushing his hardest yet.
Well, he's in that situation we talked about. He's got 2 cars side by side in front of him. He's got Joshua Johnson in front of him up against the wall there in the preferred line. So you almost get stuck back here in the pack. And we're working with the 37 laps to go. So we're almost down to a Wayne Piercefield Classic link that we ran last night. And you can see the traffic does not clear up ahead of Williams there, as he's got almost 3 wide in front of him. And he's trying to make his way up towards the front.
No, and you do get a good amount of room on this track, but I'll tell you what, these cars are kind of slipping and sliding around where it's a lot easier said than done when it comes to passing. So I'm not, like you said, the traffic, if it's in front of you and we're winding down to the final 30 laps and just a little bit of change, it's not exactly the smoothest route right now. So, Dylan Perry, there's a reason he's defending champ for a reason. I like where he is right now. I think he's gonna continue to lose wear. We still have a lot of laps to go, but I'd rather be up front right now at this junction, knowing it's not looking like a lot of guys are getting past this complete.
Speaking of smooth, look at Johnson here and his driving here tonight. He has had a solid run as he has now working that outside of Lassiter and using that outside line with Tater Williams behind him. Just smooth here from that 117.
Yeah, and I'm glad we're able to kind of stream this right now on Extreme eSpeed TV. Appreciate every one of you joining right now. You're tuning in at a great time, a nice time, as we are now 69 laps complete.
Perfect point to join in on this one as it's starting to heat up. We've got cars going both ways, both going up and down through the field here as we watch Joshua Johnson in this battle here. Lassiter early up ahead, early runs in the 4th spot currently. As now Tater Williams will make a move. He's up to 3rd there for a minute. He got impatient with those cars racing up ahead of him. As he's now trying to get back up there, he'll fall back behind them. And again, not to beat a dead horse, that is what we talked about, is how difficult it is moving back up through the field.
Yeah, 2 things that are difficult: beating a dead horse and trying to pass right now. Both not for the faint of heart tonight.
Caution flag waves. It's Jordan Van Westen up against the wall there. You see the little crab walk going off into the corner. So the caution flag is out, working lap number 73 here. So 27 laps to go here in this Buckeye World 100. So Dylan Perry, Sam Seawright still up front. They've been up front really a majority of this race. They've been in at least the top 5, if not the top 3. And then you have Cody Early hanging out up there in that P3 position. Great run for the director. Lassiter to his outside as we go back to green. Spees and Williams will be that 3rd row now. As you know, Tater is licking his chops trying to get up to that P7 machine. So Sam Seawright will move to the lead here as now Dylan Perry battles back on the inside. It's the 16 at the line as we have 26 laps to go. Dylan Perry will regain it through turns 1 and 2. You see the racing behind him is heated up as well.
Yeah, just a quarter of this race remain, and I'll tell you what, Sam Seawright retaking the lead, and I gotta think guys gotta start pushing now if they haven't already. And I'll tell you what, from the driving we're seeing right now, they are pushing. And for Dylan Perry, you know, we've interviewed him many, many times, but a guy like Sam Seawright would be real fun to get in the booth because I didn't really believe in he or Dylan's strategy from the start. A little bit of contact there, but I'm becoming a believer right now.
You hear that, Adam? That is Tater Williams knocking on the door from the 4th position. 3 wide in front of him as he gets up into that wall. He and Steven Spees now trying to get up there to battle for the lead.
That's right, and Lassiter is leaving that back door.
So Lassiter falling back to Tater Williams. Tater Williams is going to stick it on the inside there, try to make a move on Lassiter. As Dylan Perry falls in line with Seawright in front of him, he'll jump to the inside, trying to make that inside line work through 1 and 2. It hasn't paid off as Seawright's been able to fight back. We'll see if Dylan Perry can hold off now Lassiter through 3 and 4.
I need to get statistician Sammy out here to let me know how many lead changes. I think Seawright just jumped 3 spots. Just look at the top 3 on your screen right now because the lead changes. This has to be close to a record for us in the Pro Late Model Dirt Series. Perry currently your leader, but Williams, like you said, knocking on the door. And I'll tell you what, if you had a peephole behind you, you would see he looks aggressive and angry right now.
You see that battle for first. You've got Dylan Perry just in front of Lassiter. Sam Seawright back there in 3rd now. As you can see the relative, as Lassiter's able to pull in a front of Perry. Perry will battle back and take over the lead down the backstretch.
Lassiter's been my pick these last several weeks, and this is the night. This is the night I think if Lassiter doesn't pick up the win, he kind of lays in bed tonight saying, man, this was one of my chances. So I got to think just based on how far Perry's pushed it from really early in the race, Lassiter's got to have a little more tired tread, but does he have the skill to get around the ever-elusive Dylan Perry?
They continue to trade that lead back and forth. Some housekeeping. Jordan Van Westen is out of the race from that incident on lap 78. He will run in the 16th spot now. Everybody else is still on the track, so that's where Jordan will end up the night. Cody Early was running up front not that long ago. He's now back into the 13th spot as he battles with Andy Piercefield back there. As up front, it's still Jacob Lassiter, Dylan Perry trading that lead back and forth.
Oh man, getting a little side by side. I'll tell you what, this is not the time to make your drastic move. Save that for the last, 5 to 7 laps. And I'll tell you what, we're going to get there pretty soon with Perry, Lassiter, Williams. I expected a lot more cautions coming into this, though. Still trying to play catch up.
So Dylan Perry continues to lead Lassiter now. Lucky number 13 laps to go here as they've broken away at him. They've got about a 2 3/10 over Tater Williams as now they're coming up on the back of the field, which is Andy Piercefield and Cody Early. Sam Seawright has issues. He's now 3 laps down, so after a great run by him, he's currently in the 15th spot as Lassiter, Dylan Perry are running away with this.
I'll tell you what, man, Brandon Combs, he just finds a way with this new setup. I haven't seen anything like this. He has by far capitalized more than any other driver. And I'm a little surprised John Hine running 9th. Really thought we'd see a top 5 from him, but Aiden Young's taking that spot right now. So many good drivers. Not everyone can finish top 5. So, man, Lassiter, I think, I got to think this could be Lassiter's night. I don't believe in that announcer's jinx. I'll said it before. I'll say it again.
So Lassiter able to pull in front of Dylan Perry. He's got 3/10 on that P7 machine now as they've really stepped up their game. The fastest 2 cars on the track are those 2 drivers. Jacob Lassiter is actually the only driver for a sub-16-second lap here tonight, as he has really turned this on, and he's separating that gap as it grows on Dylan Perry.
Yeah, and he's you could tell he thought a lot about his strategy. He executed it. It doesn't look like he panicked early when he saw some of the heavy hitters in front of him, and I'd like to see it play out. He's separating himself. I think the only thing that could really screw him right now is a caution.
So 7 laps to go for that 51 machine. Jacob Lassiter out for a long-time veteran of the Coolray Pro Late Model Dirt Series, as he holds the starts record for the league, looking to pick up a victory as he continues to lead here. He has 66 starts here, 1 victory, looking for win number 2 here in the Coolray Pro Late Model Dirt Series.
Yeah, and if he's able to hold on, I'm going to ask him just how excited he is, because I think you and I might be more excited for him. We've seen how close he's gotten, and this means so much for just the overall points, and it can really catapult the guy into really opening up. We saw what it did for Brandon Combs getting that win, so the possibilities are endless if he can get this with just 4 laps to go.
So 12 cars on the lead lap as Jacob Lassiter continues to lead here. His lead almost 2 seconds over Dylan Perry at this point, coming to 3 laps to go. Going down through the field, there's really separation between all the drivers here. Closest battle on the track is this one here with Bender and John Hine. John Hine will go around, put him in the 8th position in front of Bender there. And 2 laps to go now for that 51 machine out front, Adam.
Yeah, I'm liking what I'm seeing right now. No cautions, no cautions. You got to think that's all he's thinking right now. White knuckle driving. He knows he's just 1 lap away from what's eluded him almost all season.
So he's made the most starts in Coolray Pro Late Model Dirt Series history. He's got 1 career win. He's going to turn that into 2 here tonight, as it is going to be Jacob Lassiter, your Buckeye World 100 winner. Dylan Perry 2nd, Tater Williams 3rd, Brandon Combs 4th, Aiden Young in 5th will round out your top 5. So we'll talk to your top 3 finishers here in a moment on Extreme eSpeed TV. So, Adam, I'm going to throw it over to you. It looks like you have our 3rd place finisher, Tater Williams.
That's right, joined by Tater Williams. And Tater, heck of a battle. How are you feeling just right off the bat? Your strategy was a little different than a lot of the guys who, like Dylan Perry. I feel like you guys had completely different strategies. You kind of, fell to the back, whether that was by purpose or what, but you're able to climb up to a podium. Gut reaction, how are you feeling after this one?
I'm wore out. I'm really glad it's over with, to be honest with you. But yeah, talking about our different strategies, I don't know exactly what he done, but my plan was to kind of fade towards the back and just keep a steady pace and not really push it too hard and just keep the car straight like weeks before and just try and save my tires. But obviously that didn't really play a factor, because I believe these 2 guys were up front and me and Combs were right around each other the entire time, and I believe Aiden was right behind us too, so I'm not too sure.
Yeah, and there wasn't a lot of, drastic lap times. Andy Pierceville got it ahead for a while before his caution, so Was there ever a point then where you were, I don't want to, call it stressing out, but was there a point where you're like, man, I really do need to kick it in? And I mean, you made it look maybe easier than it was, but was there that moment where you're like, I'm not sure I'm going to be able to catch up?
No, not really. When we had that caution on lap 72, I believe it was, I was trying to figure out where I was at and what I wanted to do, and I realized I was lining back up 8th, so I might as well, I thought I might as well just give it a go and see what I got left in the tank and go for it. So we ended up 3rd tonight. That's not too bad.
So speaking of, we got a lot left in the tank. We are hitting the final stretch of this season. So you're still in a very tight points battle right now. How are you approaching this? Any tracks you've got circled? Any kind of things that you're thinking about that you think you can overtake Dylan as we get to the final furlong of this season?
I don't really believe so. I believe he's pretty well got it wrapped up. I'm still going to go out and race to win every week, and maybe he'll have a mechanical failure a week or so or whatever. But no, not really. I'm going out to win. I'm going to do what all I can do and just be happy with what comes out of it.
Well, I'm glad we got to talk to you on back-to-back nights. And once again, before we close up shop and roll this out to the next track, I want to give you a chance to shout out those partners.
First and foremost, Andy Piercefield for all he does for me. He won't ever know how much it means to me for all he's helped me out and just everything he does. All my guys back at CBR, Bangin' Sets, Bluegrass Motorsports Media, Goat Farm Posse, B&B Custom Baits, Dylan Perry Racing. He made my paint tonight too, so it's pretty nice. Combs Cuts, just everybody that helps me, man. It means a lot, and you guys for broadcasting us and Cody for giving us a great place to race.
We appreciate you as well, Tater. Get some rest tonight. Congrats on a real strong run.
Thank you, guys.
So that's Tater Williams, our 3rd place finisher tonight. Now joining us up in the booth, our 2nd place finisher. It's the 7P of Dylan Perry. Dylan, walk us through your strategy tonight and what kind of happened there at the end with Lassiter able to pull away with a dominant performance there at the end.
Yeah, it was a fun one being with those sliders with him and Sear out for a while, but I think after that restart, whenever me and Sam started throwing down pretty good, got the tires a little too hot, and Lassiter was just able to capitalize really good on it. And because once we got running, I was able to at least feel like I was closer to pace, but he had his plan right, and he dang sure walked away with that one.
We know Cody Early has been working with Hoosier day and night the last couple of weeks with this tire compound. Did you tell a difference in this 100 laps versus some of the races earlier and at the end of summer there?
Yeah, for sure. This race we were able to push a little bit harder sooner and not have to ride around for so long with the fear of it burning off quick. We were able to kind of start pushing a little harder around halfway or so, and that helped. I think it helped a whole lot. And then even right there at the end, which I pushed a little early, it still didn't hurt too bad. I knew the tire was going away pretty heavily, but it wasn't like detrimental anymore.
Well, we know you and Andy Piercefield spend a lot of time practicing for these. What were your thoughts when he shot the gap on you there and took it to the lead there halfway through?
I was hoping he could hold on to it. I know I may not have been his biggest, but I was probably cheering the loudest for him. I was hoping he could hold on to it, and I'm so proud of him to see him run up there with us and lead some laps. I couldn't have been happier.
Well, another great run here, Dylan, as you go on, looking to capture your back-to-back championships here in the Coolray Pro Late Model Dirt Series. Any sponsors you want to give a shout-out to for your second-place performance tonight?
Yeah, first and foremost, always Andy and the whole Piercefield family. They've been a bunch of help, more than I could ever imagine, and I definitely couldn't ever thank them enough. All the guys over at Evans Air Conditioning, Piercefield Media Group, Rapid Race Graphics, Harrison Automotive, Chattanooga Valley, Newt's Lawn Care, Phantom Race Engines, all the guys over at Chip Bangers Racing, they've helped me out a ton through our downtimes when we're not racing as much. B&B Custom Baits, Combs Cuts, GFP, all you guys at Extreme eSpeed TV, just everybody that helps me week in and week out. I definitely couldn't do without them, and I hope one day I can thank each and every one of them individually.
Well, great run here tonight, Dylan. We look forward to seeing you in a couple weeks.
Thank you, and hopefully I'll get to talk to y'all again.
That's Dylan Perry, our second place finisher tonight. And as we waited for our winner here tonight, Jacob Lassiter, he is celebrating with his crew, so he is not joining us here tonight. We'll look to talk to him on our next broadcast. Of course, he's back. Adam, you found Jacob in the pits.
Yeah, I think Jacob was out partying or something right now, so we'll get him unmuted here in a moment. But Jacob, I can't tell you who's more excited, if it's us or if it's you, but man, how does it feel to finally get that win that's been elusive? You've been up there in the points all season long, but how good does it feel to finally get that off your back?
As we wait for Jacob to get his microphone working to talk with us.
Jacob, you got a copy?
As we'll wait and see for a moment there. Another exciting night, Adam. Of course, we have another winner here, and that's been one of the funnest things about this tire compound is it's put some guys up front and in the position to pick up some wins that really were solid racers in the past, but it just shakes it up enough where you have open opportunities that weren't maybe there in the past here, especially at the start of this season.
Yeah, and I mean, we've had the chance to talk to so many of these guys on the podium that we don't often get the chance to. So many, different types of drivers, different styles, different strategies, and man, it's been a highlight of this year, and it gets you even more excited for a full season of this kind of setup next year. But by no means am I trying to wish away time right now. I'm really enjoying it, and a night like this is just so special. A lot of viewers, even you and I especially, just we've been loving seeing kind of new winners, new opportunities. And it's something that it gets you fired up, really, I guess you could say, for the next race on the schedule, and they're quickly taken away. So you got to enjoy ones like this, and I hope that Jacob Lassiter is able to enjoy a win like that.
So an exciting Buckeye World 100 here, as it will end with Jacob Lassiter picking up his second career Coolray Pro Late Model Dirt Series victory in 67 starts as he holds off our current points leader and previous season champion Dylan Perry for the win. Tater Williams will come home third. We'll throw up those final results for us here. I see Brandon Combs coming home fourth, Aiden Young fifth, Caleb Ramsey 6th, Joshua Johnson 7th, John Hine, Brandon Bender, and Steven Spees will round out your top 10. Coming in home 11th is Colin Voiles. DC Smith will be finished 12th, last car on the lead lap. Andy Piercefield 1 lap down in 13th. He led midway through that race. Cody Early will end up 1 lap down in 14th as he ran top 5 there late in this one tonight. Sam Seawright, also a driver that ran up front for a majority of the race, 16 laps down in 15th, and Jordan Van Westen, his issues on lap 78 will bring him home in 16th. And with that, it looks like we've got race director Cody Early in the booth with us. Cody, any insights into our winner Jacob Lassiter tonight, or just how this Buckeye World 100 went here in 2023?
Yeah, I know that Jacob's wanting to chat. He's having some issues, man. He's been having internet issues all day long. So the fact that he even got on here to be able to compete tonight is slightly a miracle. But he's having all kinds of issues. He got on with his phone. His phone wouldn't let him unmute. So I hate that because, of course, his first ever win was the Freedom 100 at Lernerville a few years ago. he's been wanting another one, and man, tonight was a big one for him. So hopefully we can get him on the broadcast maybe next time around, because it seems like he's having some issues. But all I got to say is, guys, awesome broadcast tonight. This tire model has really changed this series. The fact that we've got some comers and some goers and some storylines to follow through the night. So hats off to everyone. 100 laps, and I think maybe 3 or 4 cautions altogether, if that. So a great night of racing. Wanted to throw in there tomorrow, 11 a.m. for the folks watching. 11 a.m. tomorrow, the Open Wheel Modified Series registration opens up. It is open to everybody, but only the first 60 paid entries get to compete in that next year. So small plug for that, fellas.
Well, great week here at Eldora. Cody, congratulations on a great 2-night show here at Eldora. We'll be back in 2 weeks here with the Coolray Pro Late Model Dirt Series. So as always, thank you for everyone that showed up here at the track. Thank you to everyone that tuned in here tonight. We look forward to talking to you again soon, and we will see you at a racetrack soon.
This copyrighted broadcast of Extreme eSpeed TV Network is intended solely for the entertainment of our audience. Any retransmitted, reproduced, rebroadcast, or otherwise distributed or used in any form without express written consent of the Extreme eSpeed TV Network is strictly prohibited. We hope you've enjoyed this broadcast.